A sudden wave of changes is sweeping through the Social Security landscape, and millions of Americans, especially seniors who rely on SSI, SSDI, or retirement benefits, are feeling the impact more than anyone else. With new proposals, unexpected payment shifts, and strengthened legal protections unfolding at the same time, these updates carry real consequences for people who depend on every dollar to cover rent, groceries, medications, and basic necessities. For many older Americans living on tight budgets, any change, big or small, can create uncertainty, especially when they are already doing everything they can to stretch limited income. At a time when inflation has made daily life more expensive and essential items harder to afford, these updates have arrived at a critical moment, bringing both hope and confusion to households across the country. My name is Tony, and welcome to Truth Lens, the channel dedicated to breaking down complicated Social Security developments into clear, straightforward explanations. Here, every update is researched, verified, and explained in a way that cuts through the noise so people can finally understand what is happening with their benefits. Seniors across America often deal with endless paperwork, confusing terminology, and constantly shifting rules, which can make the system feel nearly impossible to navigate. Truth Lens exists because no one should be left guessing about the money they've worked decades to earn. With so many seniors struggling to make ends meet, clarity isn't just helpful, it's essential. One of the biggest talking points right now is a proposal gaining attention in Washington, a potential $200 monthly increase for people receiving Social Security retirement, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, spousal benefits, and railroad retirement payments. This increase, introduced under the Social Security Emergency Relief Act, would temporarily boost payments until July 2026. Although this proposal faces a difficult path in the current political climate, it has sparked a national conversation about the financial hardships seniors are facing. For millions of older Americans who are living below the poverty line, even after contributing to the system for decades, this proposed increase represents something far bigger than a dollar amount. It represents breathing room, stability, and dignity during a time when groceries, rent, utilities, and healthcare costs continue to rise faster than benefit checks. Many seniors share stories of choosing between medication or food, delaying medical appointments, or cutting back on basic needs because their checks simply don't stretch far enough. A bag of groceries that once cost $40 now costs nearly $60. Rents in many areas have risen sharply. Even low-income seniors who receive SNAP benefits often find that those amounts don't cover the full cost of meals anymore. For retirees on fixed incomes, every increase in cost hits twice as hard. And for those relying on Social Security as their only source of income, the financial pressure has become overwhelming. These are not abstract statistics. These are stories from real Americans who spent their working lives paying into a system they trusted to support them in retirement. Alongside the proposed increase, another major update gaining attention involves the double SSI payments arriving in December. Some people saw one payment at the start of the month and will see another at the end of the month. Although this creates the appearance of bonus money, it is simply a payment adjustment caused by the calendar and federal holidays. Because January 1st is a holiday, the January SSI payment has been moved up to December 31st. While this timing shift doesn't increase the total monthly amount, it does create confusion for many seniors who already struggle with tight budgeting. When every dollar counts, sudden changes in timing can be stressful and lead to uncertainty, especially for older adults who depend on predictable deposit dates to avoid overdraft fees or missed bills. At the same time, new legal protections have emerged that aim to support tenants whose Social Security income is disrupted or delayed. California's Assembly Bill 246 has introduced an important safeguard by offering a defense against eviction when benefits are late or temporarily inaccessible. This legislation was created to protect people who rely on Social Security or related benefits and find themselves unable to pay rent due to payment interruptions or delays from other essential programs like SNAP. Many seniors depend on a delicate budget where one delay can cause a cascade of financial problems. When rent money must be used to buy food, medicine, or essentials because other aid is temporarily unavailable, eviction becomes a frightening possibility. These new protections recognize the vulnerabilities many seniors face and acknowledge how closely their stability is tied to consistent benefit payments. Another update circulating nationwide is the 2.5% COLA increase that took effect in January 2025. While modest, the increase reflects inflation adjustments and is now permanently added to monthly payments moving forward. Yet, for many retirees, this increase is absorbed almost immediately by rising costs. Seniors living alone or on small fixed incomes feel this more than anyone, especially those who rely on Social Security as their primary or only source of financial support. Across the country, countless older Americans are struggling quietly, often going unnoticed while grappling with the daily realities of high prices and limited resources. The COLA increase doesn't solve everything, but it acknowledges the growing gap between fixed incomes and real-world expenses. There is also ongoing discussion about a potential one-time $2,000 stimulus payment proposed for Americans earning under $100,000 a year. While it has not passed and remains under review, it represents another effort aimed at providing financial relief during a time when many households, especially seniors, are under tremendous strain. Retirees who spent years contributing to the workforce often find themselves shocked by how difficult it has become to survive on Social Security alone. With rising housing costs, expensive prescriptions, and everyday necessities climbing in price, a large percentage of seniors are living one unexpected bill away from financial crisis. In conversations happening across the country, seniors describe heartbreaking circumstances, skipping meals to afford medication, turning off heating or cooling to cut utility costs, or rationing pills because refills are unaffordable. Many live in constant fear that a delayed benefit, unexpected expense, or rent increase could place them at risk of homelessness. These stories highlight the growing challenges facing older Americans and the urgent need for clear, reliable information about the Social Security system they depend on. One deeply emotional story involves a 72-year-old widow who shared how a delay in her food assistance benefits forced her to use her rent money on groceries. Without knowing about recent protections, she believed eviction was inevitable. For seniors facing these choices, financial strain becomes emotional strain, leading to sleepless nights and overwhelming anxiety. Learning about newly passed tenant protections offered her relief and restored a sense of security she thought she had lost. Stories like hers reflect the real experiences of millions of seniors who are navigating these systems alone and in silence. Through all these changes, one consistent message remains: Social Security payments continue to be processed and delivered without interruption. Benefit checks are going out on time, and the system remains operational despite economic pressures and legislative debates. Retirees across America rely on these payments not only as income, but as stability. The reassurance that after a lifetime of work, the support they earned will arrive as promised. And even with political disagreements surrounding proposed benefit increases, these debates have brought national attention to the struggles many seniors face daily. Seniors deserve clarity, dignity, and understanding, not confusion. They deserve stability after decades of contributing to their communities, raising families, paying taxes, serving in the workforce, and shaping the nation. And as rising costs make older Americans feel increasingly invisible, channels like Truth Lens work to ensure their concerns are heard, their questions are answered, and the truth behind every update is clearly explained. In the midst of complex legislation, shifting payment schedules, and evolving protections, millions of seniors continue fighting to maintain security in their final years. Many live alone, rely on disability income, or have outlived their savings. Some carry the emotional weight of financial strain silently, without family support or community programs to rely on. The changes happening now matter deeply because they affect real people, people who built this country, contributed to its economy, and deserve stability, protection, and respect. As developments continue, Truth Lens will keep examining every update with precision and clarity, ensuring seniors, retirees, caregivers, and families remain informed and empowered. For older Americans navigating a complicated system, having clear information can be the difference between uncertainty and peace of mind. And every senior across America deserves that peace.